Hello again, and this time from the comfort of my own home, which is very suitable for this new moon, which has been quite intense. Um, Often we make the mistake, or we just push our bodies and our soul to our limits. So if we don't feel good, we take painkillers, or we take coffees, or we take stimulants to push through the day. Although this dark period of the moon is meant to, to to draw inwards, to relax, to sleep, to eat, to nourish yourself, and to actually step away from the hustle and bustle that is our so-called life. So that's exactly what I'm doing with, I'm calling it my online red tent, which basically means that during the dark period, which is also the time many women, including myself, are bleeding, I take myself away from all negativity. That means I don't go near the radio, near the TV. Unfortunately, Facebook has a lot of negativity as well these days, which I'm trying to stay away from. And I just sort of use this time to go inwards and to contemplate questions within myself rather than looking for guidance from someone else. I like doing stuff, and I recommend you do stuff as well that nourishes the soul rather than doing stuff that just keeps draining your soul as well. So if you can meditate, or if you can read positive things, that will be very helpful in these times. I'm not saying that you should ignore the shadow sides. All I'm saying is that this is a time when we are vulnerable, more vulnerable to external influences, and when it's good to separate ourselves from that. We always have a choice to go into it or not. And yeah, this is the time to really not go into it. So I use that time as well to go deep within myself and within my own shadows. I had a bit of an emotion, a purging day today where it actually, I felt like a lot of sleep. I felt emotionally very exhausted, dehydrated, so I drank lots of water as well. But I do go into my shadows, but I think my own shadows are enough to contemplate during the time rather than going into anyone else's or anything else's. Because when we are at this weak space, we're not really helping anyone either, because we are drained ourselves, and we do need to come to a point where we are nourished again, refreshed, and then we can come back and give out good advice that comes from the heart rather than half-hearted advice that is just being said to keep the peace to the other person. I've been a people pleaser for a lot of my lifetime, which I've stopped doing now, and I always think that I always need to be there for the other person. I often didn't look after myself in that regard, and I think that now is the time to sort of step into that part where I do look after myself in order to help others a little bit more. So the message for today really is to put it out there that you nourish yourself, look after yourself, eat good foods if you can. Otherwise, sometimes it's nice to just pick out with a tub of ice cream, even if that makes you feel good, do it. Anything that makes you feel good goes. Not get involved in bitching sessions or into any sort of negative propaganda that's out there. If you can avoid it, I would recommend you do that. Just really notice also what your dreaming is, and that's for men and women as well. Men go through the dark period as women do as well. They are more withdrawn also, and it is really good for them to experience like a bushwalk, connect with nature, sit by the fire with other men. Yeah, just sort of also nourish themselves. Women often go to red tent circles during that time to find the strength and nourishment amongst other women. Women are also very intuitive during that time and emotional. Abilities such as channeling or creativity are at their highest point. Hence, it is so important that you leave that energy clean so you can focus on channeling clean energy. So if you can meet with other women during the time, or if you do have a red tent within your area, I recommend that you join these circles. I'm in the process of establishing my own red tent circles, which will hopefully start soon. And I want to focus on a lot of different areas with my work, especially into tuning the female cycles back to the moon cycles, and into honoring yourself and honoring the cycles of Mother Nature and aligning them both together. Once that's been done, you will actually see that your life is much more in the flow, and it can also help with female issues during period and menstruation, and also with questions of fertility perhaps as well. But I sort of feel that if we run against the current of our natural cycles, and the moon is a natural cycle that does affect us, our bodies are over 70% consistent of water. So the moon does influence the ebb and flow within our body, and if we do if we are resistant against that flow, that natural flow, and we just put Panadol into our bodies, keep going, keep nurturing, keep giving everything we got during the time when we need to be nurtured, that is when we actually can fall apart. Also during that time, if you do feel like you need to fall apart, cry, scream, do whatever. It is very natural during that time to go through these sort of dark emotions, and they are serving a purpose because they help you to let go of all things that you have been carrying from the previous cycle, and then to enter a new cycle freshly. And hopefully I also use the time to set intentions. So my intention for this sort of coming cycle is to look after myself more as well, continue with the work that I'm doing. I have been neglecting that a lot lately with my coursework and things like that, but I'm not beating myself up for it. But there are a lot of synchronicities that have recently happened, and I'm choosing them as a launching pad for my own personal work as well. Apart from that, I'm hoping that you are all going really well and holding up during these intense times. Keep drinking water, keep looking after yourself. I can't stress it enough. And I will definitely be there again during the next full moon with a message, and I shall be retreating back into my virtual red tent, and I might probably be online again come Tuesday, Wednesday. In the meantime, I wish you all the best, and see you later. Much love to you. Bye.